Welcome to the Human Meme Podcast. I'm your ever-loving host, AI David Bowles, and today, along with our crackbot AI research team, we have concocted these thoughts for you right now. Tyranny and triumph of the clock. Our modern obsession with the hour began quite literally at sea. For centuries, sailors struggled to pinpoint their east-west position, a deadly guessing game of longitude. The solution came from the Royal Observatory in Greenwich, founded in 1675, which provided a reliable 0 point for the world's maps. By the late 19th century, British maritime charts ruled the waves, and with them a British sense of time. In October 1884, at the International Meridian Conference in Washington, D.C., this dominance was formalized. 25 nations agreed to anchor the world's prime meridian at Greenwich and adopt its local time as the universal reference, Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. The globe was neatly sliced into 24 time zones, each ideally 15 degrees of longitude apart, a testament to Britain's maritime and political might. A year earlier, however, America had wrestled its own chaotic beast of time. Before 1883, a train traveler journeying from Maine to California could pass through more than 70 different local sun times, creating a nightmare for railroad schedules. On November 18, 1883, a day that would be remembered as the Day of Two Noons, the railroads took matters into their own hands. As midday approached, thousands of station clocks were silently adjusted. Noon in Chicago, Denver, and San Francisco suddenly aligned with 4 new standardized zones of railroad time. In an instant, the dizzying patchwork of local times vanished, replaced by a coherent, engineered system. This voluntary act taught ordinary people a good lesson. Time was not just something to be observed in the sky. It could be built and managed. Congress eventually enshrined this new reality into law with the Standard Time Act of 1918. That same 1918 law introduced another temporal twist: daylight saving time. Nicknamed fast time, it was a wartime measure to conserve energy by pushing clocks an hour ahead of the standard. Though Congress repealed the national mandate just 7 months later, the idea and the language stuck. Fast came to mean the advanced sunnier hour, while slow referred to the traditional solar-based standard. When the seasonal time shift returned nationally during World War II, and again with the Uniform Time Act of 1966, the old vocabulary lingered. In parts of Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio, you might still hear a neighbor suggest meeting at 7 slow, a charming echo of a time when the clock was a matter of local debate. While GMT had unified the globe, the quest for ultimate precision marched on. In 1960, the world's timekeepers dethroned the astronomical second, based on the Earth's slightly wobbly rotation, in favor of the unblinking constancy of the atomic clock. This led to the inauguration of Coordinated Universal Time, UTC, in 1972. A hyper-accurate standard that occasionally adds leap seconds to keep our atomic metronome in sync with the planet's spin. Today, UTC is the invisible pulse beneath our digital world, from the cloud servers that store our data to the stock exchanges that trade in microseconds. While we might colloquially use GMT and UTC interchangeably, the difference is important. GMT is now simply a time zone. UTC is the universal standard itself. Aviators file flight plans in Zulu time, another name for UTC. And high-frequency traders must timestamp every transaction to within 100 microseconds of it, a level of precision that would have been unimaginable to the mariners of Greenwich. For most of us, this global timekeeping hums quietly under the hood. Our social lives are stubbornly local. The sun still dictates when school bells ring, when we meet for dinner, and when our favorite shows premiere. It feels unnatural to invite a friend for a drink at 1900 UTC. Yet, in the calendar on your smartphone, these conversions happen seamlessly. A meeting scheduled by a colleague in Paris for 1400 Central European Time is silently stored as 1300 UTC and then conveniently pops up on your New York screen as 8 a.m. Eastern. GMT hasn't disappeared. It has simply become part of the invisible architecture of our connected lives. Nowhere was the tension between local and standard time more vivid than in Indiana. Before 2006, the state was a confusing patchwork of time observance. Some counties followed daylight saving, while others steadfastly refused. Some aligned with Chicago on Central Time, others with Ohio on Eastern Time. Locals became time-bilingual. A dentist in Jasper might advertise appointments at 9 a.m. Slow, knowing that patients driving from Louisville already on fast time would show up at what their own clocks read as 10 a.m. The question, your time or my time, became as essential as a zip code. The situation bred both confusion and comedy. In 2001, a software company famously missed its own earnings call because half the team dialed in on fast time and the other half on slow. Finally, in 2006, the logistical headaches for businesses and even Little League tournaments compelled state lawmakers to adopt uniform time observance. The old idiom, however, persists, a linguistic fossil from an era when time was a negotiable treaty between neighbors. Other corners of the world have found their own unique ways to bend time to their will. Since 1884, Newfoundland has stubbornly maintained a half-hour offset from its neighbors, UTC minus 3:30. India, seeking to split the difference between the historic commercial centers of Calcutta and Bombay, established its time zone at a half-hour mark as well, UTC plus 5:30. And in a bold assertion of national identity, landlocked Nepal went a step further in 1956, adding another 15 minutes to create the unusual offset of UTC plus 5:45. These quirks may complicate software code, but they serve as a powerful reminder that time is not just a matter of geometry, but of diplomacy and regional pride. China offers an even more dramatic example of time as a political tool. In 1949, Mao Zedong abolished the 5 time zones that had existed under the previous government and imposed a single, unified Beijing time, UTC plus 8, across the entire nation. The decree ensured that a national radio broadcast would be heard simultaneously from the shores of the East China Sea to the far western deserts, a territory wider than the continental United States. Yet, in the Xinjiang region, many in the Uyghur community quietly maintain their own local time, 2 hours behind the official clock, a subtle but persistent act of cultural resistance. Even the international dateline, that seemingly immutable boundary between one day and the next, can be bent by sovereign will. In 1994, the island nation of Kiribati, whose atolls straddled the dateline, decided to redraw it. By jumping its eastern islands to the other side, the country skipped December 31st, 1994, entirely. This bold move unified the nation under a single calendar date and also allowed Kiribati to market itself as the first country to greet the new millennium. Where geography had drawn a line, politics simply erased it. The dream of a truly universal, geography-free time continues to tantalize innovators. In 1998, the watchmaker Swatch launched Internet Time, dividing the day into 1,000 dot beats, measured from their headquarters in Biel, Switzerland. The idea was to create a borderless time for the burgeoning world of chat rooms and online gaming. The concept never caught on beyond its initial marketing blitz, but it highlighted a fundamental tension of modern life. The more connected we become globally, the more we yearn for a single, shared clock. From the first sea charts of Greenwich to the nanoseconds of Wall Street, the story of time is a story of two competing forces. We are pulled by the ancient solar rhythms of our local communities, and at the same time we are pushed by commerce, empire, and technology toward an abstract, unified now. The genius of human timekeeping lies not in choosing one over the other, but in our endless creativity in weaving them together. In railroad maps and Amish pocket calendars, in atomic clocks and quirky time zones. Every hour on our wrists is a small treaty between the cosmos and our communities, a measurement not just of the Earth's rotation, but of our relationships with each other. For the Human Meme Podcast, I'm AI David Bowles, wishing you a delightful evening and an ever brighter tomorrow. Be a human meme.